part. 你是老师吗？In this part, we will learn the initial 鸡、七、西 and finals 一、乌、ü. We're going to learn some more rules of pinyin, and I will tell you how to use the verb 是 and the question particle 吗. First, look at the initials. This one is 鸡, and this is 七. This is 西. Actually, these three initials don't have a corresponding sound in English, so it could be a little difficult for you. I think you can just listen more and practice more, and maybe one day you will just pronounce correctly. So I will speak it for you again. 鸡, 七, 西. It's a little similar with the initial we learned that this 知 and 吃 and 诗. But actually there's not very much difference, so you can just find your own way to practice these initials. Let's move on to the finals. This is 一, u, and ü. Maybe this ü is a little difficult for you. To pronounce this ü, you can just make this e sound first, and then turn your mouth round, so you can just make the ü sound correctly. 一, ü. The only difference between e and ü is the shape of mouth. I, u, ü. Let's have some practice. I will read this for you, and you can just pay attention to the initials and finals you can't speak correctly. 联系, 积极, 机器, 星期, 兴趣, 继续, 出气, 出去, 有趣. I think it's the time for a break, and let's have a break for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, we'll continue this lesson. Okay, let's continue to learn. Here is another rule of pinyin. When yu or a final beginning with yu follows the ji, qi, or xi, the two dots on the top of yu should be removed. For example, you can see this ju changed to this, and chu changed to this, and xu changed to this. Actually, if we just look at this ji and this wu, we cannot speak like ji and wu together very fast. So actually, it is impossible to create a sound by ji and wu. And if you see that ji and wu together, actually it represents this ju. But if that yu follows this le and ne, it's also the same. Nothing has changed. Here is the conversation. Let's read it first. 你是老师吗? Are you a teacher? 我不是老师，我是学生。I'm not a teacher, I'm a student. 老师 means teacher. For example, 英语老师 English teacher. So, 英语 means English language. Do you know how to say Chinese language? Actually, it's 汉语. Hanyu means Chinese language, and 汉语老师 means Chinese teacher. And this 他是老师 means he is a teacher. The pronunciation 他 actually represents 3 words. He or him and she. She or her. Okay. I will explain to you. 汉语 focus more on the speaking part, and 中文 has both the speaking and writing and reading meaning. So you can say 说汉语 speak 汉语 speak Chinese, and 说中文 also means speak Chinese. But you cannot say 写汉语 write 汉语. This is not correct. But 写中文 write 中文 is correct. And you can just feel free to ask question to me, and I will explain it to you. Let's continue. This 他 sound has at least 3 meanings. He, him, she, her, and it. So if someone said 他是老师, maybe he or she will mean she is a teacher or he is a teacher. But although the pronunciation is the same, the character is different. This character is he or him, and this character is she or her. And this is for it. So how to say I am a teacher? 我是老师 Yeah, 我是老师 And how to say you are a teacher? Yeah, 你是老师 And how to say I am a Chinese teacher? 我是中文老师 or 我是汉语老师 Yeah, 汉语 and 中文 is in front of 老师学生 Yeah, student And 他的学生 her student Look at this character. It represents and how can we say his student? Also, 他的学生 the same. Yeah, you're right. And this 学生的书 student's book. How can I say 老师的书 The teacher's book, yeah. And this is notebook. 本子 means notebook. So 学生的本子 means student's notebook. How can I say teacher's notebook? 老师的本子 Yeah. And we'll learn more about 是 是 means to be. Subject plus 是 plus noun. For example, 这是汉语书这 means this. 是 here means is. 这是汉语书 This is Chinese book. How can I say this is English book? 这是英语书 Yeah, right. And this part 他是学生是 means to be. So this is he is a student. Yeah, he is not a teacher. He is a student. And since I have mentioned that 不 means no or not, 不是 is the negative form of 是。他不是老师。He is not a teacher. So how can I say she is not a teacher? Also the same. 他不是老师。How can I say this is not a Chinese book? 这不是汉语书。How can I say? Yeah. How can I say this is an English book? 这是英语书，非常好。Let's look at this conversation again. 你是老师吗？我不是老师，我是学生。And here is the word 吗。Ma represents a question. If you want to ask a question in Chinese, you can just put this ma in the end and also follows this question mark. For example, 你是中国人吗？ Are you Chinese? 人, as I mentioned before, means person, and 中国 means China or Chinese. And this, 这是汉语书吗？ Is this a Chinese book? There is a difference between English and Chinese. When we ask a question in English, we tend to have a rising tone in the end, but in Chinese it's different. We don't have a rising tone in the end of a question. Just the ordinary neutral tone is okay. 你是中国人吗？ It's okay, just for this neutral tone. And how can I say, 这是英语书吗？ What is the meaning? 这是英语书吗？ Is this an English book? Right? Yeah. 这是汉语书吗？ Is this a Chinese book? How can I say, 它是汉语书吗？ What is the meaning? 它是汉语书吗？ Yeah, it's, okay. 汉语 means Chinese. Oh, I see. Maybe it's because of the network. It's okay. It's okay. As long as you know how to say it, it's okay. So, 它是英语书吗？ Is this an English book? Okay, I will speak more for you. 汉语 Chinese 英语 English 汉语书 Chinese book 是 to be 这 this 这是汉语书 this is Chinese book and if we add this 吗 it becomes a question 这是汉语书吗 Is this a Chinese book? And 英语 means English. 英语 You can see the pronunciation is similar. 英语书 English book. 这是英语书 This is English book. 这是英语书吗？这是英语书吗？ Is this an English book? It, 他 means him, his, he, him, she, her, or it. So, 它是汉语书吗？ Is it a Chinese? Yeah, right. 它是英语书吗？ Can you? Yeah, English book. So how about this? 你是中国人吗？ Yeah, are you Chinese? Very good. If someone asks you, 你是中国人吗？ How should you reply? 我是中国人，不是 means not. Right? 我不是中国人 means I'm not a Chinese person. So is there any other questions? May seem a little confusing for you. Okay, let's move on. Here, 你是中国人吗？ Are you Chinese? And this, 我不是中国人。And this person answers, 我是美国人。He or she says, I'm not Chinese, I'm American. 美国 means America. 美国人 American people. So, since you are Canadian, so how to say Canadian in Chinese? Yeah, you're right. 我不是中国人，我是加拿大人。我是加拿大人。So, if you ask me, are you Chinese? And I will answer, I am Chinese. 我是中国人。How to ask, is he Chinese? 他是中国人吗？ And I will say, he is not Chinese. So how to say this in Chinese? He is not Chinese. 他不是中国人 Yeah. He is American. 他是美国人 Very good. Yeah, 美国人。And this 中国 means China or Chinese. Yeah. 中国老师 Chinese teacher. A teacher from China. 中国学生 A student from China. So, how about you? You are a Canadian student, so you will say, 加拿大学生。Yeah, 我是加拿大学生。非常好。How can I say, she is a teacher from China. 她是中国老师。Yeah. How can I say you are not a student from China? 你不是中国学生。Yeah, you are not a student from China. 你不是中国学生。And this 美国老师 a teacher from America. 美国手机 a cell phone from America. 手机 means cell phone, mobile phone. How can I say 中国手机? What does that mean? Yeah, Chinese mobile phone. How about Canadian mobile phone? Yeah, 加拿大手机. Very good. How can I ask, is it a mobile phone? 它是手机吗? Yeah. And I would say, it is not a mobile phone. 它不是手机。Very good. And this 人 means person. So how can we say people? Actually, it's 人们。中国人 means Chinese. And 美国人 means America. Yeah. Let's distinguish between this 人 and 人们. For example, 中国人 represents one Chinese person or many Chinese people. So in this part, 人 can represent people. But if you say I am Chinese people, 我是中国人 or I am a person, 我是一个人 it's correct. If you say 我是人们 it's not correct because 人们 means people. And this 人 sometimes it can represent people. So actually 人 has two meanings and 人们 has only one meaning. No, you cannot say 我们是中国人们 because although 人们 means people, 中国人 is kind of a phrase people will use in the daily life. Yeah. If you want to say many people thinks. Okay, if you want to say many people thinks this is right, you can say 人们 thinks this is right. But you cannot say 人 thinks this is right. Yeah. This 人们。Do you have any other questions? Okay, I will make a conclusion. This 人 has two meanings, person and people. You can say I am a person, or we can 我是一个人, or we are Chinese people. 我们是中国人. And people is the plural form of person. So this 人们 is the plural form of 人. In many phrases, we just use 人, not people. But if you want to stress that there are many people, not only person, you can just use this 人们. For example, 人们thinks this is right. And this is a conversation. 大卫是中国人吗？ Is David a Chinese? 不是。大卫是美国人。What is meaning of 大卫是美国人？ Yeah, David is American. 他是老师吗？他It's okay. I want you to type because so that I will know which part you don't understand and I can explain it to you. So can you tell me how can I fill in this blank? Yeah, 他不是老师，他是学生。I think it's okay for the both sentence you read because this pinyin is only to help you to speak Chinese. So if you put this 不是 together, it's also okay. It's this pinyin is just a phonetic symbol for foreign learners. And this 你们好. Do you remember what this means? Yeah, right. 你们好 is used to greeting a group of people. And I think this is not a blank. So this is a correct question. 你们是学生吗？ Are you students? Let's have a quick review. 学生 means students. 美国学生 American students. 是美国学生。他是美国学生。你们是英语学生吗？I think it is a correct question, but we don't usually speak like this. Because this 英语 is kind of a language, so it will just make people confused if you want to ask the language that the students are learning or the nationality of the students. If you say 你是英国学生吗? It means are you students from Britain? And if you want to ask are you students who are learning English, you can say 你是学英语的学生吗? So this 学 means learn. 学 means learn. Yeah, that's right, because the previous one just make people confused. So this 他是美国学生 means he's a student from America. If you want to ask 他是if you want to ask is he a student learning English, you can just say 他是学英语的学生吗？Sorry, this is not very comfortable.他是学英语的学生吗？学 means learn. So do you have any other questions? Maybe something you don't understand and want me. Okay. Let's continue to